I saw this on Twitter, and it was so stupid, I think it demands my full attention.
So, game journalists are big mad right now because one game developer had the audacity to step out of line. He had the audacity to make jokes. And if you want to be in the good graces of game developers, don't make jokes, okay? Everyone is poker face, everyone is about inclusivity, very serious issue. And this game developer in particular said that since Stellar Blade is all the rage right now, why don't we add some jiggle physics?
Naturally.
And the faces of the game journalists just dropped. Like, the drama entered
yeah.
the room, the plump HR lady quaked her chair, and she looked with disgust and dismay towards this game developer. Like, how dare you? How dare you go to the gamers and joke with them? Do you think we're their equals or something? You spit on the gamer. You show disgust and disdain. You do not joke with them.
I think that there's like a certain level of like over seriousness that a lot of game developers have and like studios have that I find to be like really off-putting. Like whenever they try to act like, because there's like some game devs, like Blizzard used to be like this for a really long time, where like Blizzard acted like the government. It's like they were the government and the players were the people. It was like so fucking weird, man.
Immediately, the article started popping up, and we got the gamer here, which I think is trying to copy Kotaku. I don't know if they're trying to copy it in its business model and trying to write articles just for 5 readers, but here we go. And yeah, they're absolutely dismayed. It's like, what do you mean talk about the perfect jingle? Like, look at this character. Look at the character you made. Do you want to over-sexualizing it? Like, sexualizing it, fine, but like you want to over and add jiggle physics?
Well, you've got to keep in mind too, like this is the kind, like this is definitely like the kind of woke game. Like woke people play games like this. Okay, like I'm sorry, like I'm just gonna say it because maybe nobody else is gonna say it. Woke people play these games, so it's like, you know. It's like if you have a vegan cafe and you introduce a T-bone steak into the cafe, you're going to get people that are mad.
Like, don't you know that breasts are the immovable objects? They do not move. You know what? You should apologize and put a mansion on that character. Like, I got my number. I can call the Californian Mansion Industrial Complex and set one up just for that. I know you're trying to add the mental illnesses haircut, but it's not enough. Androgynize that character right away, and maybe then we're going to forgive you. But look at how they're reacting, right? Like, this is the journalists.
Yeah, I want to see what people are saying.
If we're being generous, it was most likely an ill-thought-out joke that spilled over onto the Farm Folks official Twitter account, with the developers greatly misunderstanding what the fans are actually interested in the title for.
I feel like it's just obviously a joke, right? It's not really a big deal. It's pretty obvious that it's a joke. How do you get mad about this? That's crazy.
Whereas the game journalist, okay, he has become the fans. He is the voice of the many. He is the speaker. Like in a sci-fi show, you know, the minds of all the fans just...
I do think that like a certain like subset of like these woke people do have like basically no sense of humor. Like I remember on that Piers Morgan show where everybody else was laughing and like just having fun, and it was like that one super uptight guy that was just like he couldn't laugh or find any of it funny at all. It was just like so weird.
Into this game journalist household, and he had become the speaker, and he says like, no, the fans aren't interested in this nonsense. And basically, they were whipped into shape.
Oh.
The American Corpo PR speaks.
Yep.
We like to address that a recent post we came to our community asking for feedback. And our intent is always to connect, to grow with our players. But it is clear we really missed the mark on our recent community feedback post.
I feel like the more that you do this, the worse it gets. Like, this just makes everything worse.
That we are so sorry, please, we apologize. Please forgive us.
Never apologize.
That they're not really speaking.
I think that if you capitulate to and you compromise with unreasonable people, you then also become unreasonable. And that's what ends up happening, is that, like, whenever people make unreasonable demands and take what you say out of context and then get mad at you for the context that you never intended it in, and you start apologizing for that, then you just basically gave them the approval to tell you what you think.
To you as a player.
Yeah, they just become more
like
unreasonable.
They're
exactly.
To the journalists, it's like, have mercy, the gamer, Kotaku, please. We will never again.
You're enabling them. You are, and they never stop.
Female player models' breast physics in the past, and we thought we should ask the community what feels appropriate. Unfortunately, we crossed the line.
Where is the problem? What is this? Like, it's obviously a joke. Who cares? The more you apologize to these kinds of people, the worse it is. Well, you have to understand that also, like, and the reason why it's bad is that these kinds of people, like, nobody ever gives up power on their own. I think this is just like a general human condition thing where most people, and I'm not going to say nobody, right? Because there's obviously some people that do. But in a general sense, I think that people will not give up a position of power unless they absolutely have to. So what ends up happening with a situation like this is that these people don't want to give up the power they have by being offended. So they're going to keep getting upset about things because that's the way they get attention and they get people to do what they want. So, you know, again, if you're a hammer, you're looking for nails. That's it. I seriously think it's fake outrage for traffic. Yeah, I think it is too. It's an easy target too from an indie dev. Yeah, it's like a small group of people can get together and like bully an indie dev into doing something like this.
From sexualization into over-sexualization.
Yeah.
We try to foster a welcoming community, and the post and subsequent replies made many of our community members uncomfortable and alienated. Yes, our player thought that Farfolk is not a place for them, and they fought shunned away from society, and they were pushed into a life of poverty and crime. And for that, we are sorry. We welcome you back to the bosom of farm folks. You can play our game now. We're not going to make the titties bounce. Don't worry.
It's probably not a good game anyway, and people are only latching onto it because it was woke. If you make DEI the only reason why people play your game, and then you lose it, you just have a shit game. Yeah, I think that, like, and this is what I said before about all of these games, is that woke content will never make a game good or bad. Like, it'll never change a game from being, this game was good, but now it's woke, so it's bad. Generally, it can make a bad game worse, but it's never going to make a good game bad.
That atrocity will not happen. The reply made about 150% physics was inappropriate. It's like, we insulted your mother. And we apologize for that. We are taking the necessary steps to learn. We are knocking at the door of our HR lady, and we are making her work overtime so she can teach us.
This reminds me of like a, you know, like the NPC in Blasphemous 1 that was like, you have to prostrate yourself like to the god. And it was all about, like, you know, ruining your life and, you know, contorting your human body in ways that are painful in order to make some god happy. I feel like this is basically it.
Can feed her knowledge into us and tell us how to be more inclusive, more better Americans. We value the feedback of our community and work hard to include everyone, even your mother. Even your mother is welcome here. We want to create a game that feels alive, which is why we pay close attention to every aspect of our world, from how the weather and the time affects the world to how the tits refuse to bounce. No matter what the female characters does, they stand eternal in vigilance without bouncing ever, because that would be inappropriate. We want everyone to feel included. Oh my God, how many times did they mention this shit? In the game's development,
ridiculous.
And we'll be reevaluating how to best interact.
And I think that, like, this is a really good example of, like, what I was saying. Like, this is why gamers are unreasonable. It's because people get mad about this, and then the devs put out an apology for it, and it's just so outrageous that this is even a problem. And I think this is why people go like apeshit about Stellar Blade or something like that, is because they see something that just seems like such a disproportionate and ridiculous response. It's ridiculed? Yeah, it is. I'm getting confused. Is this supposed to be a joke? No, this actually happened. All this actually happened.
If the community,
people are tired of that shit? Yeah, they are.
As well as how to best ask for feedback from the community.
And I think also, like, people say, fuck, it looks like we're in a circus. Might as well act like a clown. And so that's whenever people start, like, taking these things and, like, turning them into, like, a battleground. It's the same thing as, like, changing the photos or the paintings in Warcraft, right, into fruit. It's just ridiculous. And I think that it creates, like, a lot of, I think, just straight up normal people see this, and they're like, this is fucking weird and stupid, and I don't like it. We get mad. They get mad at us for being mad, and they position themselves as the protectors to make us look like villains, and it works so well for them. Well, yeah, in a lot of cases, but I think also, like, players get tired of being vilified for doing something that had no ill or malicious intent.
Future. Holy shit, like, this guy was writing on a drum, like, his fingers were going on the keyboard, like, click-clack, click-clack, please, what else should I write?
Yeah.
What else should I write so that they know how sorry I am? Your input is instrumental as we continue to develop Farm Folks. Okay, so, most people in the comments are like, what on earth are you
This is it. See, this is the thing, is that you never, this isn't even an apology, this is doubling down on excuses. There we go.
Okay. Are you high? Why are you apologizing for? Like, no one was even remotely upset.
This is what they do.
But then you have individuals like this person, and I love it. Because this is literally the type of customers that they want to foster. This is the type of community. When they talk about inclusivity, they're referring about this person. And this person says, this isn't even an apology. This is doubling down on excuses. You guys understand why the initial tweet was upsetting, right? Because
the problem with this is that it's built on the foundation that somebody getting upset about something justifies their feelings, and her being upset about it or other people being upset about it is a justification to have it be changed. Not necessarily. Just because you don't... Oh, fuck. That was the woke mob. They tried to shut me down because I was too based. Anyway, yeah. I think that the whole problem here is that the entire issue is predicated on the assumption that her being upset is valid. Just because you feel a certain way and you're mad about something, that doesn't mean that you're right. That doesn't mean anybody needs to sit down and listen to that. Just because you get pissed off about something, you don't like it, that doesn't mean that the world is obligated to accommodate you. And this is, I think, what the problem is that these people don't understand that they're not the center of the universe.
It doesn't sound like you do.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, you got people confused. It's like upsetting. Please elaborate how and why so that I can better understand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sure that a great journalist and writer like yourself can figure out how to read all the upset comments in the original post and determine why people are mad without me personally needing to hold your hand and explain.
And this is also the problem, is that people that act this way are always so dismissive, patronizing, and obnoxious. Like, who would want to be around a person like this or have anything to do with them? Yeah, it's just so obnoxious. So it's like, what the fuck? Like, why are you talking to somebody like that? Yeah, somebody asks, like, upsetting, please elaborate how, and then she's immediately being patronizing and mad. You should never try to deal with a person like this.
There's many people in the comments saying, I'm a woman, please explain. What the fuck? But as you can see, they did nothing wrong. This is why they should have never apologized. It's never enough for the crowd.
It never is.
If you really think that this tweet was upsetting, then I'm sorry, but you need to grow a spine. It's never enough.
I mean, like, they're not... Like, she's getting mad about the apology, then she's getting mad about somebody asking why she's getting mad. This is a person that just gets mad all the time. Why are you listening to them?
It wasn't even that fucking bad, Lamau. But the reason they're upset and they can't articulate it is because a lot of these individuals, they do not care about the video games. They are part of an ideology, of a cult. And anyone that's not part of the cult is an enemy. And why they live on the internet is to see the enemy getting upset. Like every single...
I think this is true. And this is another big problem, is that people on the internet have like this, like they've like self-radicalized themselves to where, like, if you believe one thing, you believe a bunch of things. Like, for example, whenever I say something that Twitter disagrees with, I also hate black people, gay people, trans people, all minorities, disabled people. I hate women. I hate poor people. I hate Jesus. There's got to be more. I hate animals. I hate anybody in a bad situation. I hate them. I hate fat people. I hate skinny people. I hate people with disabilities. And so it's like, as soon as you do one thing, they just basically put this laundry list of bad things associated with you. And it's like, well, where's the evidence of these things? They're like, well, just go look it up yourself. It's like, well, what the fuck do you mean? And so what happens is that these people, as soon as they see that you disagree with them on one thing, they immediately like dial everything up to 11 and act like you're this terrible, bad person. Where in a lot of cases, no, these aren't terrible, bad people. They just don't think a tweet was a big deal.
Someone that's not part of the cult is upset for any reason, like their entertainment is being ruined or they're being inconvenienced in any way. These people are happy. So if they see a company joking and having fun with people that they perceive to be the enemy, they get upset. And they can't articulate that because it sounds bad. So this is what it's all about. This is the fact that the developer had some fun with the gamers, and they were like, oh, well, if Stellar Blade is all the rave, do you want us to add jiggle physics? And this person was livid. The game journalists were livid. They were like, what do you mean? They're the enemy. You can't joke with them. You're not fraternizing with them. Stop that at once. And the person goes like,
well, they're over serious people that want to ruin everything because they're unlikable in real life. Nobody wants to be around them. That's why they're on the internet. And they can't get along with anybody in real life. Everybody hates them. They grew up and they probably didn't have friends because they were disagreeable and obnoxious. And here they are again, getting mad about something and starting to go to war for some issue that nobody gives a shit about. And that's it. Bring our people down to their level. Yeah, these people are awful.
Yeah, I apologize. Holy shit, Jesus, so sorry. And they're like, no, we're not forgiving you.
Yeah.
We're not forgiving you.
Yeah, you never win with these people.
And this is what it's about. The absolute state of 2024. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section.
Yep. I agree. I completely fucking agree. I think that the moment that you try to make these people happy is the moment that you become unhappy. I think that these people are energy and they're basically vampires. And they will suck the life and energy and joy out of everything that they are around. They will infect everything with their fringe, cringe opinions. They will want everything to be a platform for them to express some sort of viewpoint or agenda they have. They're awful. They're social vampires. They're awful. Yes, I hate this shit. And it's like, and I think the problem, the real reason why I think this is a big problem is because it's the assumption of ill intent. I think that that's the worst thing about it. Is that these people are going into it assuming that this company wanted, what do they want to do? Sexualize women? What number one, how are you going to sexualize? They're not even real. But you're going to get mad about this. What's going on here? How can you get angry about this?